Hey y'all, it's Dan. Welcome to the Spiritual Underground Podcast. Once again, coming to you from the studio, which is now the studio DTM Enterprises, which is currently configured as a wood shop. The nice mahogany tables underneath of this, I use this for a work service when I'm not doing podcasts. So it's in work mode today. Hey, did y'all listen to Nick and Mindy's podcast? Just was released yesterday. But that's something that a couple stays together through that. It don't happen often. They really, I think, gave a lot of strong points to that. There was some bond there between the two that kept them coming back to one another, right? One of the things I've noticed, and I've said this a few times to some family members, is that one of the places they actually do have some power where a lot of others don't, is that you can actually create consequences for somebody. You can... you can tell them, get out, sober up or get out. You can tell them, I'm not allowing you to be here under the conditions that you're living in. You can actually, hell, I know somebody that called the cops on their stepdad or father-in-law not too long ago. When he come by and he was obviously drinking and driving, he went out and got in his car and left. And they called the law on him, created some consequences for him. Interesting in the way that Nick and Mindy stayed together, even though some distance was between them, and they bounced around and living in different places and kept it together for all that time. And the kind of the prize was there at the end, right? So it does. It's like my inclination most of the time when a couple is having problems, and of course from my standpoint, it's the guy who's in early recovery, right? Because that's who I'm dealing with, is the men. And most of the time, I'm looking for them, unless they're already in a deep relationship, that maybe they should be looking to separate from that. Bear with me there. I don't want to break up any marriages. I don't want to do any of that. But frankly, our pickers broke sometimes when we're in early recovery. So anyway, or our pickers broke when we got together while we were in the madness, while the disease had a hold of us. The person we'd pick would maybe not be who we would pick today. Anyway. Hope y'all enjoyed Nick and Mindy. Really good couple. I've been sitting here sharpening up my chainsaw because it's a rainy old day out today, and hopefully I will do it. But a big windstorm blew through last night. Nick is looking for somebody to come by and help him saw up some big limbs that fell in the yard. So that's what I was sharpening up my saw here and getting it ready to go for this afternoon. What else is going on? I got a couple orders are filled. Y'all saw me working on this heart the other day. That's finished. Hopefully they're not watching. If they are, I guess the jig is up. I'll have to play that better. But it turned out really well. Pine, the tree of peace. Put that up real quick. Another couple things have been putting together here lately. I'm going to reach over here and grab them. It's some old reclaimed wood friend gave me, and you can't see the whole thing here. I'll see if I can back it up and get it all into the screen. What this is what it's designed to be is a yoga mat rack. So you put it on the wall. It's got a keyhole up here on the top, hanging on the wall. These shelves are tilted just a little bit up so that when you put your mat in here, they want to stay back tucked in the corner. I put one of my signature Ohm symbols on the bottom of this one. Hard telling how old that wood is. And this was kind of the prototype one, just to see if it was going to go together good. So that's something, these yoga mat racks, if you're interested in them, DTMWW.net, Dan at DTMWW.net. Recovery month. Twos. A couple of my guys are celebrating this month. For the longest time, I was making these recovery tokens. Sometimes I made them for a while. Like in the first year I was doing them, I made them into cookies. I'd saw a piece of a limb off, and it'd be a round, and I'd carve a number 2 in it. I might do it in Roman numerals, like way that recovery tokens are. Put something on the back of them, maybe an Ohm symbol, maybe their name, date, what year it is. That's something else. You look at these things, then you see this, that you celebrated this 2 years in 2019. Kind of puts a date on it rather than those chips don't really have a date on them, right? You can have a pile of them. They're not tied to any day. So I've got a couple 2s there. Another 2 for a friend who asked me to speak at his birthday. So that and cedar. These 2 are mahogany. Matter of fact, these 2 are mahogany out of scrap left over from the podcast table. We'll set all these aside. Another thing we're working on, and this is kind of brand new, so I hope I don't let the cat out of the bag and end up with my idea lifted. It was actually Robin's idea. She had a diffuser, and it was just like this with a piece of reed in it. That's what this is. This is not dowel rod. It's a reed. It's hollow. You can blow through it. It wicks up. You fill this jar full of a fragrance oil. And based on like essential oil smells, of course you could do it anyway. You know, you could use candle making type of supplies to fragrance the oil. And you put this in here, and that reed will soak the oil up, will draw it up into the wood, and the wood becomes the diffuser. It becomes what smells, evaporates the smell off. So those are coming. I just need to do a little bit more testing. Have some different things. Here's a frosted one. Same kind of deal, right? And I have some other things. There's some round ones, round bottles and square bottles. I like these round ones. They seem to be like go with the flow of the ohm symbol. So, heck, I could do that with a heart up there, or a lot of other shapes too. Heck, I could do it with your initials if you wanted to. So that's something else I'm gonna be rolling out before too awful long. And finally, let's see. Yeah, last thing on the docket is a friend of mine called and wanted a ohm symbol, except for he didn't like it. Not that he didn't like it. He didn't want this ohm symbol, and he gave it a name, and I don't remember what ohm symbol it was, but he said this one is a Tibetan ohm symbol. So I modeled him up a little example of something. He sent me an image of one, just a little image file. I can bring it into some CAD software like Google SketchUp. I can draw it up and get it copied so I can make a pattern and I can transfer over onto a piece of wood. Matter of fact, I have that sitting right here. So on this piece of maple, I'm going to put this pattern on here, and I will cut this out. This is one portion of it. The rest of the pattern is over there. And then we'll stand it up on a little stand like some ohm symbols I've done lately, and put a little flat base on it so it'll sit on a tabletop or on a bookshelf or something like that. One of the things I offer is, all wood has spiritual properties similar to the way that crystals do, or even essential oils and stuff. Some of them are grounding, some of them are energetic, some of them offer certain chakras and that kind of thing. Wood has spiritual principles too, and if you go to dtmww.net, you go to a page that's got some of my more common woods I use, the principles of it. This particular customer wanted maple, and that's what this is. It's actually kind of real pretty. It's a curly maple. It's got some figuring in it. So maple is a tree of offering. It's of giving oneself so that others may benefit. Goes right along with the 12-step message, right? And really about what we all ought to be doing in some service. If you're not giving of yourself to others with no expectation of anything in return, you're missing out on some of the juice in life. Maple is somewhat rebellious and tough. It holds qualities of creation, communication, binding, revolution, rebirth, healing, beauty, art, and abundance. Full of imagination and originality. Maple is a traveler's wood. That's another thing this guy related to on it. Those who are always on the move and changing will feel right at home with this type of energy. It also enhances intellectual pursuits and learning. So we'll get on this project and get him knocked out. I gave him a proposal. I like to do these drawings and models of things so that people can see and the expectations are met. So if you have so many ideas that you're something you want built, that's my very favorite thing to do. Is somebody bringing something to me and so, can you make something like this? And usually it's followed up with except for. They want it out of different wood. They want another shelf. They want not a shelf. They want a little smaller, a little taller, a little shorter. It'll be some except for. They'll have this thing that they want, but they'll have a specific thing that they want, and that's what I love to do more than anything else, custom one-off pieces. So anything like that, let me know. On the last video, I've talked to you, and some level this is hoping to get the word out on some of these things. I've got this woodworking thing going on where I can make stuff for you, something from as simple as this to I'm going to put together a portfolio of some of the more difficult, more intricate items that I've made too. and have that available probably as I travel around, and have it as someplace online. If you go to dtmww.net, you can see some of the stuff I've made. I really need to do a better job of documenting those pieces, and so that I have some central location that you can like page through them, something easily, something with some decently organized. Anyway, totally lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so the stuff I'm doing, refinishing, restoration stuff. Got any old furniture? Got old stuff? I'm going today this afternoon to go look at some doors and looking at some refinishing some exterior doors. Any furniture that needs to be restored or refinished, even if that means painting it. That ain't really my favorite thing to do, is to paint something, but I'm open to it. And if that's what you're wanting, I painted my daughter's bedroom furniture not long ago. She had this pine furniture that I had made before she was actually even born, and rather than toss it and buy new, I just stripped it down, sanded it up, and refinished it white to match the decor of what she wanted in her bedroom. I mean, also, handyman stuff. I can do lightweight handyman stuff, you name it, any kind of that kind of stuff. It seems to be that's a niche that people need. Bigger contractors don't want to go out and do small jobs. I'm willing to do that. As I said the other day, I put in a door for somebody. Somebody needs some mini blinds put up in their house. Any kind of stuff like that. Light electric work, light plumbing work, fix a leaky faucet, that kind of thing. Any kind of handyman work. I'll even look at appliances and stuff like that, see if I can't do something with them. I've learned to fix them, just about anything. So in this throwaway society we have, most of the time people toss stuff. But so that's it. That's what. Again, I'm gonna try to continue to put out content on DT on the Spiritual Underground podcast. Specifically, these videos, these podcasts here are specifically for more aimed to promote the DTM Woodwork side of things. But we'll do a little talking about the podcast, and I'm wanting to get this video element into the podcast interview form too. So I got some good. I got some lines on some new guests on the podcast, so that's going to be cool. I'm excited about a few of those. And what else? Not a thing. So, did get me something where I can hook my microphone up to my phone and use the camera on my phone and have a microphone here. That is a step towards getting this video element into the podcast. So, 12stepspiritualrecovery.com. Go out there and get that book on Amazon. Leave us ratings, reviews, iTunes. Hit me up on iTunes and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get your friends to, even if they don't want to put the alarm. Don't hit the notification you don't want to. But just subscribe, because that's the way things will start growing. It's because somebody else will end up seeing it because you've subscribed to it, and maybe they need it. DTMWW.net. Find DTM Woodwork on Instagram and Facebook. Find Spiritual Underground on Instagram and Facebook. Love y'all. Thank y'all for allowing me to participate in my recovery in this way today. Peace out. Dan.